Weird. You're supposed to be.
Well, here we go. The Fifth Element. Let me see if I can get them all right here. Wind, fire, earth. Did I say water? And now there's this fifth element. We will find out what that is. Mm-hmm. Did I say wind? Whoops, I already messed it up. For some reason, I said wind. I don't know why I said that, but anyways, I will be reviewing the fifth element right after this wonderful commercials by our friends Little Caesars. So yes, report of the week will be very excited to see my channel just for this commercial. So I will review the movie right after this. Well, I hope you enjoyed that in-your-face commercial with Little Caesars. This is back when Little Caesars was, I guess, a popular pizza of choice in some ways, I guess. And I don't know what the prize was. Don't ask. We never got it. So I figured I would take you back to the 90s when commercials were somewhat fun and entertaining. Because now they're just a bunch of dookie. So yes, so the fifth element, where to begin with this movie. As you can see from the trailer, I picked the one that was similar to the Polish Pegasus channel. It had no talking. So it was pretty much just video. So unfortunately, I didn't find the right trailer. I didn't buy the special edition DVD, which I wish I did. With the special effects, the making would have been fun to do, but I took the cheap way out and got 5 movies for $5, all into one. So the fifth element is it takes place in Egypt from the beginning of this movie. Of course, where else are you going to start a sci-fi movie? Let's start it in Egypt, in the pyramids. So a archaeologist is studying. Let me try to pronounce this without fumbling over it. Hieroglyphs.
Couldn't say that without stumbling.
No, I usually stumble over that word, like I just stumbled over the word stumble. So, so he finds he discovers the fifth element, and obviously, from what I already said it wrong at the beginning because I usually do, it's obviously it's earth, air, fire, and water, and now there's this fifth element, and this is to protect Earth from these evil Mangalores that I guess arrive every 5,000 years and try to destroy the planet. Lucky for the Mangalores, they don't have to worry much because human beings were created. We will destroy the planet for them. So anyway, so I guess they show up every 5,000 years. So these Mondoshans show up. Shawans, actually. They're called Mondo Shawans. They show up. They're these interesting looking alien types. They actually take the stones and the fifth element, and they're actually taking them to protect Earth. It seems like they are bad at the beginning, but they are not. So when the Mongolors come back in 2263, the Mondoshawans will be there as well, and they will protect Earth. So what happens in 2263 is, well, the Megalors end up destroying part of the fifth element, so obviously that's a problem. So the Mongolors, they go to Earth, but there is some DNA that is left over, and the scientists do find a way to rebuild this fifth element. So now there's some problems along the way because with these evil aliens, there's also evil human beings as well. And of course, what is a better villain than Zorg, played by Gary Oldman? He is a perfect villain for this movie. And Gary Oldman, we know him from JFK. He played Lee Harvey Oswald. He was a villain in Air Force One. Oh, he played Beethoven, who was a very good composer, but he had quite a temper. Just watch Beethoven Lives Upstairs. Let me think. What else was Gary Oldman in? Oh, yeah, he was in The Darkest Hour. He played Winston Churchill. So he has been in some very, very good movies. And Bruce Willis is a cab driver in this. The fifth element, which ends up being they create this perfect being played by, um, boy, how do I pronounce her name? Milia Djokovic, who was in the Resident Evil series. And I believe she was also in Dazed and Confused. You never saw any of the Resident Evil movies? Well, anyway, so she's kind of a lab rat. They create her, and she ends up escaping from the laboratory because she doesn't know where she is. She's scared, and she winds up in the back of Bruce Willis's cab. And Bruce Willis should, please tell me, he should not need an introduction, but apparently he does.
He does. I don't believe it.
Okay, well, in case people forget, he was in the Die Hard movies. Uh, Die Hard, Die Hard 2, Die Hard with a Vengeance,
You're going to stuck with that. Don't say that's wrong.
Live Free and Die Hard, and then there was even a fifth one, but I don't know the name of that. I just assume it was garbage. He was also in The Sixth Sense. He was in Last Man Standing. He was in The Kid, Unbreakable, Tears of the Sun, Mercury Rising. That one was bad. I know I'm leaving a bunch of them out. Oh yeah, he was the voice in Look Who's Talking and Look Who's Talking Too. So Bruce Willis has obviously been around for a while. Ian Holm is also in this. He is a priest. We know him from Alien. Uh, Never saw that one. And Chris Tucker is also in this. He is uh, Roddy Road. He's got a weird part in this. So Chris Tucker was in the Rush Hour movies. He was in Nothing to Lose. Don't know Chris Tucker. And Luke Perry is even in the beginning of this. The talentless Luke Perry is at the beginning of this. And I don't care if you don't know who he is because he is a nonsense actor. He was in. So I'm so sorry. Luke Perry is dead. The, so sorry. I am so sorry that I disrespected the talentless Luke Perry. So, yes, so Luke Perry's at the beginning of this movie, and he doesn't have any lines, probably because he couldn't remember them. And it's also a complex movie, so him or Jeremy Jahns or Chris Stuckman would be lost. So anyways, so like I said, so the being goes into Bruce Willis's cab, and Bruce Willis is I think they call it a space force in this movie. So he's like an ex-military. So he now is with the fifth element, and of course they have to get this key from the priest Ian Holm. So now they also have Zorg, who I just said. They have to worry about him. I compare Gary Oldman in this movie to Elon Musk. He's a wealthy guy trying to get his hands on every little thing in this movie. And of course, he wants to hold these stones hostage. So he is very Elon Muskish, and he even kind of looks like him a little bit. So I will just jump right in and show the first clip, and we get to see the Mando Showins right off the bat.
This man is perfect being. Are you okay?
Well, here's the beginning of the movie, and we tried to get the loser Luke Perry with, of course, he had a bottle with him. I think he was really drinking this on sight too. So Luke Perry is quivering in fear, probably because he forgot his lines. And there's these little alien beings that came in, and maybe I'm wrong. Do they kind of look like the Goombas from Mario Brothers a little bit? Oh, good. I'm getting a yes. Yeah, they kind of do remind me of those Goombas from Mario Brothers. But no, Luke Besson, the director, had no. I don't think he had any ties to Mario Brothers, but I could be wrong. So these are the Mondo Shawins, and they are taking the stones for the fifth element to protect Earth. So they are actually good. But of course, if you don't know anything about these guys, you might think they're bad. I didn't know what to think when I first saw this movie last year because this scene just took forever. It took a long time. This movie is 2 hours, 6 minutes. I think this movie took about, I think the beginning of this was maybe 20 minutes of just this scene here, which really, I don't mind if a movie is 2 hours, but this beginning scene really could have gotten cut down, and I usually don't complain about that. But if I'm doing,
No?
not really.
What about everything else?
Oh, I do not. I complain about bad acting. Who wants that? But yeah, they really could have shaved some time here. Yes, I know, because you like Double Mommy. So, well, so now I will continue this review with some fine cognac. So, so now, so now I will. I'm trying to remember exactly where I was. It must be the fine cognac that killed my brain cells. So, so these Mondo Shawins are here, like I said, to protect Earth when the evil Mangalores come back and try to defeat Earth. So I will go to the next clip, and we are going to go 300 years later, and yeah, there's a little problem. Somebody wants to invade Earth. They want to help the humans destroy it. So I will show that clip in just a second.
On a different period to offer you something.
You have 20 seconds.
Imagine for a moment that this thing is not anything that can be identified because it prefers not to be. Wherever there is life, it brings death. Because it is evil, absolute evil.
One more reason to shoot first.
Evil begets evil, Mr. President. Shoot it will only make it stronger.
Go into that right now.
Time is of no importance, Mr. President. Only life is important.
You're right. That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to protect the life of some 200 billion of my fellow citizens. Zero. That's good.
So yes, this is the president in New York City. 300 years past 1914. So you're going to see New York City in a different way. So the president says he wants to protect the citizens. They obviously see the spaceship. They want to attack it. Things go wrong, and the fifth element is destroyed in this attack. So we do get to see Bruce Willis. We got to see his wonderful apartment that is no bigger than your modern size refrigerator. It's not a real big place. It's in South Bronx, so there is a little bit of crime there. So his taxi cab, let's just say, there's a lot of flying cars at this time. We have enough trouble driving on the ground. Could you imagine if people learned to fly cars? Imagine how chaotic that would be. So, like I said, the Mongolors are coming to help us destroy the planet. We are obviously doing that ourselves, and we are proving it in this movie.
We are proving it now. We got to make it to that year.
Well, yeah, that's true. So I will. So now, because of the fifth element being destroyed, they were able to take some DNA from it. So the scientists are making the supposed perfect being. So when this perfect being is made, they have to take her to the priest. The problem is, this is like I said, this was created in a lab. This is like an animal being in an enclosed um, area. So obviously, there's some fear here, and because it is a perfect being, it is pretty powerful. So we will see what happens. Nothing could go wrong when we make something from scratch, right? Well, we will see. I will show that clip in just a second.
Pretty soon.
It's
You want out? You're going to have to learn to develop those communication skills.
General alert.
Well, this is what happens when we make things in a laboratory. Things go wrong, and she punches right through it. She punches the dude trying to get her out. And what's really cool about the language she's speaking, this was, like I said, this language was actually created by Luc Besson, the director. So she actually had to learn how to talk in whatever language this is. This was they called it divine. So so these words were actually made up, which is actually kind of a cool thing, at least in my opinion. So so now this is kind of a weird movie to review because people either loved this or they absolutely hated this. So it's going to be a very interesting end to this video because right now it can pretty much go either way. So I will. Oh, Skip has decided to join me. So obviously, Skip loves this movie, probably because the part here with the being, yes, she obviously showed up without any clothes on. So if you are into Mamacon, you probably would not enjoy this. Or if you have nightmares about Charlie Sheen and Ric Flair, you probably won't like this either. So now I'm starting to see a pattern with some of the people that might hate this because God forbid, seeing a woman seems to scare quite a few people. So now I will show the scene here of how she gets to meet Bruce Willis. Let's just say she drops by, and this could also be considered a hit and run. So I will show that clip in just a second.
Just had an accident.
Yes, I know I just had an accident, you daffy bastard. You have 1 point left on your license. Look out! No,
Well, so this is, I guess, a person that Bruce Willis didn't mind hitting when she just sort of dropped through his cab. This is kind of a part of the movie I found kind of weird. He, I guess, falls in love with her right off the bat. So I don't know. I kind of had a little issue with that. Um, I didn't really mind the whole part with her falling through the cab because this did count as another car accident. Oh yes, it is. His character name is Corbin Dallas. So now he has 6 points on his license. You know, this might be one of the problems with these flying cars. It seems like it's very easy to get points on your license. So now he is up to number 6, and this one really isn't his fault. So if anybody falls on your car, if they decide to jump from a building, or let's say a goose gets hit and falls on your car, it would count as an accident. So there would be a lot of problems with these flying cars, especially in New York City. So, and then of course it's also computerized. The second you get a ding, that's it. It just goes as points. So she now falls in his car. Now he's going to be taking her to the priest, played by Ian Holm. So we get to see that part in just a second.
It's not my bride, she's my fare. She's looking for a priest named Vito Cornelius. A phone book said he lived here.
Yes, that's me. I don't know who she is.
Nobody knows who she is. No file, no ID, nothing. She's got a tattoo on this arm here.
Tattoo?
Well, now the priest knows after seeing the tattoo that this is the perfect being. So he knows exactly what it is. Corbin Dallas does not. So he's going to have to explain everything. So, but now we get to meet Zorg in the next clip. I compare him to the modern day Elon Musk. And you can put your opinion down on the comments, but I think you will agree. He seems to be the Tesla of modern day weapons for this time. So I will show the next clip, and we get to meet the Mongolors as well. Very nice looking creatures. So I will show that clip in just a second.
Heal you. Makes you stronger. Your time for revenge is at hand. Voila. The city of blood. Slide. Handles adjustable for easy carry. Good for riders and lifters. Breaks down on 4 parts. Undetectable by X-ray. Ideal for quick discrete interventions. A word on 5 power. Titanium recharger. 3,000 round flip for bursts of 3 to 300 with the replay button. Another Zorg invention. It's even easier. Finish the job. All rocket launcher. Arrow launcher. With explosion of poisonous gas head.
This is Elon Zorg. This is the first time I'm showing Gary Oldman in this role here. He's got the weapons. And then these are the very ugly creatures. They kind of look like, in some ways, they do sort of look like Kelsey Grammer in a way.
Who's that?
He was in Cheers and Frasier. They got that look to them. So so these are the evil Mongolors, and they're working with Zorg. Like I said, evil aliens, evil human beings. So, and Zorg has his own Zorg Tower as well. So it is kind of amusing that is in the scene after this where he is talking with the priest, and he has little gadgets along the way. So, but I will show the part here where this is how Corbin Dallas gets his food delivered to him. This is sort of a pretty cool scene. I do want to show it. So I will show you that clip in just a second.
My lawyer told me he was leaving. You know why?
That is bad luck. But grandfather say it never rain every day. This is good news, guaranteed. I bet you lunch.
Okay. Well, at least I want lunch.
Good philosophy. Secret and bad.
17 messages. And don't tell me your machine is broken again. Those things are good for 1,000 people. You obviously a lot more than me. Machine is worth me.
Good luck, Mr. Dallas. Fortune for you.
Climbed up on me. Oh, Christ, I'll never be a grandmother.
Well, this was a very interesting scene here. So this is how he gets his Chinese food pretty much from the guy from Lethal Weapon 4 who played Uncle Benny. So he now gets his food right on this boat, airplane type of vehicle. So the mail comes in and it pretty much says he's been fired from his job because of his recent accident. But then there's more parts after this scene. So we see the boat go on. But then all these people show up to his apartment wanting him to save the world. So first it starts with him getting fired. The Chinese food guy leaves. Then his annoying ex-wife calls him, and she said that she left him 17 messages. Now, there's no more landlines. Obviously, it's been taken over by cell phones, so this part obviously wouldn't happen. So there's no more answering machines. So that was kind of funny. And those who don't know what an answering machine is, you're going to have to look that up. Look it up on YouTube. You'll see him. So anyways, so he ends up getting this weird vacation to paradise, and he gets 2 tickets. So now the major shows up from the military. They want him to save the world. Then the priest shows up with a gun. Yes, a priest with a gun and the human being to save the world. So this guy is like a wanted person, pretty much. They want to save the world with this guy. So he ends up going on his little vacation to the airplane, and of course, like any airline trip, it is chaotic. It is a mess. At least they have your ID on file when they scan you. And they also know the aliens as well that try to be Corbin Dallas, and they get them on file as well. So, unfortunately for his little trip, he has to go with the most annoying talk show host in history. I know. He's more annoying than Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel, and also that really fat Corden guy. And I think his name is Jeff Corbin as well. How could he be more annoying than that? Well, I'll show you eventually. He is definitely odd. He's played by Chris Tucker, and he's wearing a dress. So I guess that would be more appropriate for today's times, which seems to be more. It seems to happen more and more in 2263. I guarantee that is going to be the fashion. So what? Yes. So to be clear, I'm not bashing. I'm just saying that's just the way it is now. That's all I was saying. I was not bashing anybody. Chris Tucker wearing a dress with that kind of voice, does it suit him? I guess, but it's nonetheless, he seems like a very annoying talk show host, and I would not want to be on his show. And Bruce Willis, of course, being Bruce Willis, didn't look like he was really too pleased to be on it, and he does kind of choke him up against the wall. So that part was funny. So he is on an airplane now with the Fifth Element being. And that's when he tells her that they are on an important mission, not a vacation. So I will show that part in just a second.
You speak English now. Good. We are not on vacation. I'm on a mission, a very important mission. I work for some very important people. I didn't come to get you. You'd be in big trouble. Do you understand? Do you understand? Big trouble.
You no trouble.
Well, here's where he tells her about the very important mission. Now, I have to say, as much as I hate air travel, this actually doesn't look that uncomfortable. I wish that they would actually make planes like this, but it is going to be a very long time before they actually do. So now we finally get to meet the most annoying talk show in TV history. In just a second, I think his name is Rod Roddy. He is played by Chris Tucker. I'm hoping this is the only clip I'm going to show of him because he gives me a splitting headache, and after I hear him talk, I need Tylenol, aspirin, Aleve, and who knows what else they make over the counter that will eventually shut down my organs. So I will show that clip in just a second.
I love to sing, she recently confessed to me. By the way, I have a recording of her talented voice. Hi, ladies, rest of the song after the concert because right now it's time for Cobbin to say the word of the day. Tell me, my man, you happy? Get wild.
Well, so this is the wonderful talk show host, and yeah, there's not enough sedatives to help my head after seeing this, after seeing Chris Tucker in this movie. I'm not saying he's not a good actor. I know he is what he is. He's a comedian. He has a comedic role, but did they really have to make him like this? Because it's very irritating. So now we get to see the Fifth Element being in action against these really annoying and really out of shape creatures. And we get to see how she is at fighting. So I will show that clip in just a second. Well, it looks like she is handling them pretty well. So this is the Supreme Being at her best. And this is, one of the reasons why I did not want to see this movie is because this actress was in it. I'm not the biggest um, Milia, however I pronounce it, Djokovic fan. So in this movie, though, I have to say she really isn't bad. So I was actually pretty impressed with her part in this. And even though I don't know if she's actually a martial artist or not, she played a very similar role in Resident Evil with some of the fight scenes. But so I mean, I really don't watch movies for fight scenes, really anyway. But this one really wasn't bad. Um, so, and to be honest, the acting in this movie isn't terrible either. Even Chris Tucker's annoying part, I have to realize this is what was written for him. I just wish they could have made him less obnoxious. But I guess TV hosts today are really bad, so I guess they're taking it a step further. They really weren't far off. So this is quite a few hundred years past our time. So just imagine how bad it's going to be if it gets to that point. So now I will just show one more clip, and it's pretty much Corbin Dallas saying that they have to take out the leader in order to defeat these Mongolors because they are really bad without their leader. It's almost like how we used to take out the head bison when we used to hunt them. You take out the strongest one, and then the other ones just stand there and do nothing, and then it's just pow, pow, pow. So that's pretty much what you're doing with these creatures. Well, that's how they did it. I'm explaining. So I will show that clip in just a second. Now that I just gross somebody out by my little history lesson on how to shoot bison.
That's the leader.
Send someone to negotiate.
I'm gonna negotiate it. Mind if I try? No, sure. We're sending somebody in to negotiate.
All right, well, this is the final scene here. So Bruce Willis, so what happens is the leader says that they want someone out to negotiate. So Bruce Willis shows up with his gun and just pretty much just ready, aim, and fire, and shoots the little creature right in the head. I was hoping for this like green stuff to ooze out so the report of the week can do a food review on it. But that didn't happen. So instead this is a movie that will just give Metal Jesus nightmares. So so that pretty much says how good Bruce Willis is at his job. He was one of the best when he was in the military, but he decided to retire instead. So before I do my little review, yes, Siskel and Ebert did do it. So I will show their review first, and then I will get into mine. So I will show that clip in just a second as Siskel the Grouch and King of the Toilet Chair are getting warmed up. Ebert just has to clean out his toilet chair because he ate a lot of snacks beforehand.
Playing another one of his regular guys embroiled in extraordinary circumstances in The Fifth Element, a truly exciting and at times original science fiction adventure about what else? Combating a bad guy who threatens to control the universe. The year is 2214, and shortly after The Fifth Element opens, we follow the adventures of a beautiful, mysterious young woman who just may be some godlike force from beyond Earth. She's a stunning alien played by actress and model Milla Jovovich. The costumes in this film were created by the celebrated designer Jean-Paul Gaultier, and boy, I hope he is remembered at Oscar time.
I think we need a blind even here.
The cab driver, played by Bruce Willis, who himself escapes capture in an exciting, dizzying sequence, and then takes her back to an apartment where they introduce themselves awkwardly, but never for those.
What is your name?
Corbin?
The film's bad guy named Zorg, played by the wonderful Gary Oldman. He wants a case full of ancient stones representing the world's 4 major elements, which has been stolen by alien beings. His deal? A high-tech, high-powered weapon to trade. A word on 5, Howard. Friendly hands, Bruce Willis ends up on a pleasure cruise hosted by a wacky DJ played by Chris Tucker, and what I assume is a send-up of the rock star Prince. It's very funny for a while.
It was bad. It had nothing, no fire, no energy, no nothing. You know I have a shoulder in here, you know? And it must pop, pop, pop. So tomorrow from 5 to 7, will you please act like you have more than a 2-word vocabulary?
It goes a long way. As the Fifth Element goes full tilt in its every storyline. But I was often dazzled by the film's art direction and enjoyed the characters played by Bruce Willis and Milla Jovovich. I would follow them in any movie, and especially in this one, directed by Luc Besson, the stylish French filmmaker who proves that Americans aren't the only ones who can create action pictures with flair.
Well, I agree with you, although I don't go quite as far as you do, and I'll tell you why. First of all, I agree with everything you said about the look of this film.
Yes.
This film is like Metropolis or The Blade Runner. You can just sit there and look at the screen at the wonderful visionary things the Besson has given us to look at without any regard to the plot. But unfortunately, the plot, especially at the end, loses touch. That character played by Chris Tucker, you said a little of him goes a long way. Unfortunately, there's a lot of him.
I accept that.
Just at the point in the movie,
when you
really want the story to start paying off, he goes on and on and on, and tiresome scenes, and they would just take that stuff out and make the movie tighter and more tauter. Then it would work better, but for what it is, it's certainly
a good time.
A good time at the movies. Okay, fine. You're going to finish all of my sentences? That was a good time. That's a wonderful phrase. I'll try to remember that.
Okay.
Well,
but it really is that. And again, Bruce Willis does this role so well. I mean, he's done it before.
Bruce Willis has spent his entire movie career in movies like this. I mean, occasionally when you see him and there hasn't been an explosion within the last 5 minutes, you wonder what went wrong with the picture.
And I think we both want to see more of Milla Jovovich.
When we come back, Dennis Leary.
Well, Siskel the Grouch and King of the Snacks and Toilet Chair pretty much, they actually took the words right out of my mouth. Because, yes, the Chris Tucker scene, I have to agree with them. The movie was fine up to that point. A little bit of Chris Tucker in this movie would have been fine. But they really did overdo it a lot. That little clip that I showed, there was a lot more of him than that. So I definitely do agree. So he must have put the snacks down for it, because other than that, they were pretty much spot on with it. So no, they probably liked him more than I actually did. I wish they could have made the aliens a little bit better as well. The beginning aliens, even the evil aliens, they all kind of look the same. I wish they made them look a little bit different, maybe had more creativity with it. But other than that, the acting, like I said, really wasn't bad, except for Chris Tucker's shenanigans. So Siskel the Grouch must have gotten the rod out of his butt, because he was pretty happy for the most part. And I don't know, maybe Roger Ebert went on a diet and he didn't eat anything when he was at the movie theaters this time. So he was able to look at the movie and actually hear what was going on. Because the visuals were very, very well done. The special effects, I thought, were absolutely fantastic. So there were things in this I did like. And in 1997, I don't have to break it down. We all know Titanic was the big movie. And number 2, I believe, was Men in Black was probably 2. Batman and Robin did come out that year, but that was probably down a little bit. Air Force One came out. Face Off, Con Air. I know. That stupid Volcano came out. Yeah, so it's The Lost World was probably number 2. Conspiracy Theory was another good one. So yes, there were a lot of movies there. It wasn't a bad year. So, and I remember the trailer being short and sweet. This movie was not out long. So if I did have to grade this movie, this is definitely not one of the best sci-fi movies that I've seen, but it is definitely not the worst. So I am one of these select few. I did not really love this movie, but I did not hate it. There are much worse movies to see. I probably reviewed movies that were worse than this. And to be honest, this is a breath of fresh air than the garbage that is out today. So if I had to grade this movie, I will definitely give this probably a C plus, because it is, the story isn't bad. Like I said, the acting isn't bad. It's just that the ending of it got a little bit ridiculous. So now, am I going to recommend this? You know what? I'm going to recommend trying it maybe twice, just so you can get the story down. If you watch this movie with a loud relative, or if you're doing laundry and the washer and the dryer are getting in the way of the dialogue, you might miss something. So it is something to pay attention to. So if you didn't like it the first time, I recommend giving it one more chance. It's worth a look. I was more curious by it, but like I said, it was in a 5 movie pack, so I decided to go for it. So it was definitely worth it. So comment below, subscribe if you want, and thank you for watching.